Hi and welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147. I hope everybody is well. I'm scrolling through June Waffle comments and other comments on videos that I've not yet replied to, but it is time for Heaven and Earth design. Now, I actually don't know if that section was the one I did on my last video. If not, it was probably one of these. I haven't got any done throughout June. June with June Waffle always ends up getting a little bit crazy. But so where does that make me up to actually? Yeah, so I'm just past 800. I do have all of these sections left to do, but I do currently have an empty dining table. So I am thinking once I have done this waffle, I'm going to pop this on my dining table and try and get at least a section done a day, but I'm going to aim for 2, try and maybe do 1 in the afternoon, because I'm itching to get this finished. So I'm down here somewhere. I know my mum has passed me, so whether she will finish before I do, quite probably, but I do want to get it finished as soon as possible. So I'm working on Supersize Little Dreamers Tree Max Colours by Amy Stewart. It originally had 239 colours. It's probably still got close to 200, and it is 40 centimetres across by 250 in length. So let's get going on today's section. We do have obviously a little bit of blue coming on in here. So it's weird doing this again. It's exciting doing it again, but it is also in turn just a little bit weird. Let's see how much I can zoom in and let you still see of course my chart as well as what I'm working on. But yeah, while you know my break from it sort of couldn't really be avoided because it is a big chunk. It's like an hour per section ish. Well, we'll see how long this waffle is. It's that amount of time per section. It can be hard to sort of allocate that amount of time. I don't work on this in an evening. So I don't work on this evening time. Oh, okay. My tablet is deciding to give me all sorts of notifications. It actually went flat and I did charge it up, but I've only just turned it back on. So it's obviously now catching up with itself and deciding to give me notifications for this, that and the other. And it's only because it's got a Gmail account attached to it, because I don't actually use this tablet for anything but my Heaven and Earth design. Anyway, I can't even remember what I was saying. I don't know. Oh yeah, so I don't work on this in an evening. I do find it takes a bit more brain power, and I prefer the evenings to be a bit more switching off than trying to switch on. But I am hoping that I can squeeze in a little bit extra time on occasion throughout the day, and try and squeeze some in. Because my table is currently clear, I'm kind of hoping that it can sort of just sit there and I can maybe do a little bit of it and then just flop the little cover over that's normally there, and yeah, do bits throughout the day, but we'll see how it goes. So I do have comments and questions at the moment that are from June Waffle, because of course we have just had a full month of waffling every single day. So I have quite a few comments from there. Once the comments from that are caught up, then I will be on my Heaven and Earth Design section, I will be reading out comments just from my Heaven and Earth Design waffles. So if you have any questions in general, any topics that you'd like to discuss in my Heaven and Earth Design waffles, or if you have any questions about my Heaven and Earth Design, this is sort of the place to ask them. And it may be, once I've caught up, I tend to try and get answers, you know, the following week. But if not, it's often the week after that. Oh, I have actually done that one. Hadn't marked that one off. Must have just sneaked it in there. I do have a couple of different shades in this 300 that I'm working on, but I don't tend to find for the picture itself, they're that close, it doesn't make a huge difference if they're slightly different. So I'm just working with what I have because I'm doing it with spares. KS said, hi Rebecca, said they are glad that we're getting some cooler weather, which we are. It's a proper British summertime at the moment. It is it going to rain? Is it not? Cloudy skies, a lot more reasonable temperature, hence a very thin cardigan on. But it has been, it keeps going on and off. I keep putting it on, taking it off all day. Because yeah, the sun goes behind a cloud and then it comes back out again and then it goes behind a cloud, and it's like a typical British peekaboo summer. So yes, the weather is a lot cooler. Thank you. I'm definitely enjoying it. Yeah, I like the sunny days, but I don't like the too hot and sunny days. She said Cat Lady brought up the picking of dropped drills. She said she remembers with her first big Diamond Art Club, she would carefully snag and set aside all the strays that she found. Even so, she said she came up a little short on 2 AB colours. She had to wait for replacements because she didn't have any stash. She says she diamond paints in a recliner, so she can be a little bit klutzy. She said she ordered a full set of 1,000 pieces in each colour in squares, and it has made her way more relaxed. She said she accidentally dumped about 50 to 100 diamonds in round the other day, and her response was like, oops, the vacuum will take care of that. Yeah, that is true. Once your spares have built up in whichever way, whether you purchase some diamonds to become your spares, or whether you collect them. So like I've got quite a collection now after 5 years of diamond painting. I'm not as precious when diamonds fall, nowhere near as much. She says she's come to realise that even if she doesn't have replacements, she could substitute something similar or just get creative. She says she does have a jar of all her trash and stray drills, she says, but that's because she thinks they're pretty. Which they can be. It can be like sand art sometimes, made of spare diamonds, especially if you sort of build them up over time. She says she's really enjoyed the June waffle. She says it's hard to believe that it is nearly over because this comment was on the 28th. She says she's completed a K-tiered mystery. 30 by 40 from Amazon, and a set of 8 coasters. She says other than that, she has been working on kittens and fish tank from Diamond Art Club. She says when she finishes that, she will be starting Beachcomber's Bounty by Diamond Art Club as her large. She says she interrupts her large square with specials and rounds, which are budget kits, when the whim hits. So whenever she feels like it, she just sneaks in a little special or a cheaper one. She says she hopes everybody has a fab weekend and good luck on the draws. Yes, the giveaways have gone really, really well. All giveaway winners have been contacted as they've gone along, and all giveaway winners have got back to us. So all original winners, we've not had to chase anybody up at all. They've all got back to us on the back of the first email, and all prizes have been sent out, which is amazing. So I do have posts on my sort of community post on YouTube just to let you know where each of the prizes have gone, but it was great fun to do. Oh, I have quite a bit of this blue. I wasn't expecting such a big hit of blue here, though I suppose it is due to join up. I'm sort of out of sync a little bit on what the symbols are, so a few of them are still stuck in my head, but I do find that when I am actually doing what I set out to do, which is to do a section a day, I get very familiar with what the symbols are. And therefore I can, sort of figure out what I'm likely to be diamond painting. Excuse me. Right, we got any of those? We do. Janita, she says she really enjoys my WIP and waffles. Thank you, Janita. She said you keep me company when her parrot goes to bed. That's a new one for me. She says today she got bitten by a wretched mosquito on her face. Oh, that is going to be itchy. Yuck, making me itch even thinking about it. Mosquito bites are not fun because they just start itching at the most annoying times. Or at least that's my experience. Nellie says, hi Rebecca. She says she's playing catch up on my WIP and waffles. She had her brother up. She said she has lost her mojo for diamond painting for a little while, and she says all the best. Oh, thank you, Nellie. I'm sure you will get your mojo back. Life does get busy every now and then, and sometimes when it gets busy, as much as diamond painting and taking that break is good for you, it's often, it just takes a while to get to that point where you can, and you sort of just got to go with the flow, really. Darlene says, hi Rebecca, they are listening to the video from the 28th on the 29th. It said last night they completed their heaven and earth design. Woo! It's been their WIP for 10 months. 10 months is nothing. She says with a WIP that's been going for 3 years now. But no, well done on finishing your heaven and earth design. It is an achievement. She says she'll put a full picture up in the group on the 30th. Heaven and earth designs are a project. The minis are easier, I will say. They're slightly smaller, so they're a little bit more manageable size. But they definitely are a bit of a mission to do. I think if you've got a space that it can be set up in, and be more of a permanent setup, I think it's often easier, or slightly easier to complete, because you're not having to get out, in effect, this monster size painting all the time, which is why I'm thinking this is going to get set up on my dining table. It'll only take up half of the dining table, but I think it needs to be set up out there for a little bit, and I can try and make it a bit of my focus for July. Well, just before schools break up, summer holidays, and then it will be busy with the shop again, packing Advent. So I kind of think I can give myself a week or two, or while we're waiting for just the last minute custom ordered bits to arrive, to just tackle my heaven and earth design head on. And see how far I can get, because I would love to have this finished. I think it's just going to be such an exciting time and such a nice relief to have it finished as well, because it's been ongoing for so long, and I think having it front and centre for me to see every morning will be a very big help with that. Alaya says, Alex Cross, she says you need to read book 1 first, but then she said after that it's not too bad to read out of order. Yeah, it is in my wish list. I do have quite a few books actually in my wish list now on Audible, following a June waffle. I'm pretty sure a lot of the waffles we end up sort of getting back to books and what books are good to listen to or read in turn, whichever your choice is. So yes, I'm quite happy that I have quite a few on my list to decide. I'm currently sort of re-listening to just the last few JD Robb. I think I'm on book like 55 now, so I don't have too many more to keep listening to before I'm all caught up, ready for the new release again in September. So whether I'll get some squeezed in, I probably will, to be honest. I listen to them fairly quickly. I think I'm on book 3 for this week. So yeah, it probably won't take me too long to get through them. But yeah, Alex Cross series is one of the ones I have on my list, along with a few others that have come from recommendations. She also says, have you read / listened to Thursday Murder Club series by Richard Osman? Said that's quite good. I think I may have read some of those, but it was quite a while ago. She says she really likes Harlan Coben as a thriller writer. Yes, I do like Harlan Coben. She says she finished one of his books in about 23 hours, reading it physically. Before that, the fastest she's ever read a book is a week and a half. I do like Harlan Coben's writing. There is quite a few books that I have listened to. There's actually quite a few of his that are part of the Audible membership as well. So I have listened to some of those. Now, I used to read a lot of Harlan Coben back when I read a lot of Mary Higgins Clark. And a lot of it is, have I read it before? And sometimes I don't realise whether I have or haven't just from the description of the book. But yeah, I do like his books. Linda says she loves the June waffle. I don't know if it's the painting or the June waffle or both, but thank you ever so much, Linda. And then we have Blossom Chops. Blossom Chops is Jackie. And I remember because She did post on the Facebook group to say that she had been taught how to change her name on YouTube. So yes, Blossom Chops makes me smile. Hopefully I will keep remembering that that's Jackie, but you never know. You never know. It actually comes through to me on email as being Jackie, but on YouTube it shows up as Blossom Chops. She says she can't believe that we have had a month of daily Rebecca. She says video, only to be told that we have another month of Rebecca videos in July as well. She said, yay results. She says, thank you Rebecca, love and hugs. Yes, I do. It is actually official now. There is between my two channels, so between this and my second channel, which is linked in the description below, I do have a video a day going up in July. It is a mixture of unboxings, kitting ups, completed, WIP and waffles, of which my Sunday ones will probably be a little bit longer until I get caught up on comments. But yeah, there's quite a lot of videos. I actually had a little bit of a video filming session this last Sunday because it was quite cool, and I was in the mood to get things organised. So I actually got quite a few videos filmed for the upcoming weeks, but my WIP and waffles, I always like to film those for the week they're in. So like I wouldn't film a couple of weeks worth of waffles in advance. I never do that. If I'm going to film any in advance, it's my other videos. But my WIP and waffles are always pretty close to my WIP and waffles going up on my channel. But yeah, I got quite a few dekittings actually done the other day, though I still have more to do. But I did get a few done and ready, and I've tried to spread them out. So I think when I next do some dekittings to just try and tidy up a bit, they'll actually probably be for August. But yeah, July I do have a video a day on one or the other channel. So if you don't see one on this one, it's on the other one. There's actually a couple of days where there is two, one on each channel, because it's got that crazy. Ooh, I just got a new one. Can you see the little new? That means that is a new 0. That is now 0, 0, 0, 0. Awesome. I am still keeping my zeros in my case. I did make that decision. Well, it would have been in May, I think, at some point. And I'm going to do, once this is finished, I'm going to do a monster tidy up of my spares. Just sort of a spring clean of my spares and dekit this Heaven and Earth design all at the same time. So it'll be a dekit and a straighten up as I go. So stay tuned for that, because that will replace these WIP and waffles once this is finished. And then my WIP and waffles for Heaven and Earth design won't be going away. They will be moving to my mini. So I'm going to move from one to the other and see if I can get that one finished too. Though I don't have a goal. I do not have a goal of finishing my other mini in 2023. I'm going to be a lot more flexible with that one, though it is a quicker one. But I do know that the next few months, so August especially, with packing advents, September with advents going out and the launch of the diamond painting, etc., are going to be very, very busy months. So that's partly why I want to give this a push this month and see how much I can get done. but it's also why I am not committing to get my mini done. I'm not even going to commit to doing a section a day, but I am going to at least keep up the WIP and Waffle once a week. So if anything else, I'll get one section a week done. And we'll see if others squeeze in, because it is a quicker one to do. So we shall see how it goes. But yeah, lots and lots of videos, because I have lots of de-kitting and straightening up to do over the next few weeks and months, because I have finished quite a few Paint Gem mini kits and stuff during June. I have actually just finished a large painting as well, so I don't think the de-kitting will be coming up for that for a while, but I will need to get that de-kitted, and I want to kit up another one. But I won't let myself kit up another one until I've de-kitted, so that's why I might be doing the videos in advance, just so I can get started and get another large one into my little cycle. Jessie, she says, hi Rebecca. She says, on the subject of middle names, because we have been discussing those in the Waffle, she says, and names that have meaning. She said her middle name is Leanne, which is a combination of her grandmother's middle names, which is Lee and Anne. Her sister's first name is Roxanne, which is the name of her grandmother wanted to name her mum, but due to the song, a family member fought it. And then my mum wanted to name me Roxanne, but Dad refused. So her sister ended up with the name when her father, which is her stepdad, didn't mind. So eventually the name got in the family. Said my brother got his name from an estranged uncle, his name reversed. So the middle and first name are flipped in hopes of amending their relationship with the uncle, though apparently that didn't work. So yeah, lots of names with meanings out there. I think it's special when it has a meaning or a story. Sometimes just a story is good. Liz says she finished her second full canvas today during the Waffle. Tea Rose Fairy by Hannah Lynn from Diamond Art Club. She says a very successful June, as she also completed her Diamond Art Club mystery canvas and a set of Paint Gem minis. She said the ocean set. Oh, I've not kitted that one up yet. I'm itching. She said tomorrow will be a de-kit and prep canvas for the Jasmine Beckett Griffith event, which starts on the 1st of July. She said that my canvas that I did for June Waffle is looking stunning. She said she can't wait to see it finished tomorrow. So that was a comment on the 29th. So I'm getting there with the comments. I know I'm still going to end up with some for Sunday because I'm waffling a lot already today. And this is a very set time frame with my Heather design, because it is one section long, whatever that may be. Lady Dax said her 2 whips are complete. There has been so many painting completed during June Waffle. It has been absolutely amazing. Watch out, because the montage, which I will be getting ready at the weekend, ready for going up on, I think it's Tuesday. Yeah, so it's on Tuesday. The montage of the Waffle is due up. And yeah, I am expecting it to take me hours to get it ready, because there are so many photographs, so many amazing pictures of what people have done. And of course, many people have done more than one. She said she has got a new large painting kitted up, but it's not started yet. So she is sitting and listening / watching my video while she reorganises her stash logbook. She says, pure bliss. Oh, that's good. That I do really enjoy, and I definitely enjoyed this month, straightening up my logbook a bit. I know I did get a couple of things wrong. I didn't take out the sloth. That was a giveaway one. Where am I? Oh, it's because I'm looking in the wrong place. Yeah, I didn't take out a sloth one. I've since updated that one. But I think there was another one I was looking for. But I think the giveaway was, maybe it was one of Megan's, because I know Megan has let some of hers be given away as well. But I did go and have a look after doing my logbook. And I might do some more giveaways in the future, but at the moment I can't decide which ones. I kind of don't want to decide to do any more in giveaways yet. So I'm going to see how I go getting through my large canvases, because I'm really enjoying getting through and getting some of them done. She says, P.S. She says she was diagnosed with asthma about 30 years ago, and she said she didn't know about bag pus either. Well, I've had it since I was 3, and I've never heard of bag pus being sort of the symbol for asthma, but very good choice. I'll take it. So, yeah. Very exciting. I like it. Gray Legrand said her mother chose her first name just because she thought it was pretty. She said her middle name is the name of her best friend in the US Navy. They didn't like each other when they first met, but eventually it became buddies. Yeah, and that's what I like, and that's what I've done with all of our children, is we've picked a name we liked for their first name. Now my son Lewis is the same name as my granddad. It was a name we liked, and it was nice to have the same name as my granddad. I remember my grandma saying to me, because this was a granddad I never met. He died when my dad was 8. It's my brother's middle name. But yeah, I remember my grandma saying, oh, which way have you spelt it? And I'm like, well, granddad's way, of course. Like, I'm not going to have I wasn't going to have the same name and spell it different. So, yeah. But yeah, all my kids' middle names have different meanings or are named after different people. But first names, we picked names that we liked. Laura, she says she recently had a promotion, woohoo, with a ton more work travel. Now, that could be a plus or a minus, depending on where that work travel is going to. She says she treated herself to a couple of Paint Gem minis for her summer holidays this year. She said, but this week on a 2-day trip to Windsor, the original mystery set, she said, came with her to keep her busy in the hotel at night. Oh, yes, I can imagine. I mean, you know, as much as sort of travelling, you know, for work can definitely be exhausting. I can't think of a better way to, you know, spend your evenings in a hotel than diamond painting, and minis are absolutely perfect for that. You could probably get away with taking a 30 by 40 or something with you as well. It's just transporting that when it's sort of half done. Whereas with minis, it's a lot easier. JSA P C.A. Crow. Anyway, username. Hopefully you'll recognise your comment. So oh, here we go. Talking about middle names. Hers is Mary Margaret. Okay, she'll be able to figure out who she is now. Hers is Mary Margaret, with her first name being Elizabeth. She said a lot of kids in school used to ask her if she was Catholic, which she's not. She said, with a name like that, she said she should have become a nun and be Sister Elizabeth and Mary Margaret. She said she was named after both grandmothers and her mum. Elizabeth was her maternal grandmother, Mary was her paternal grandmother, and Margaret was her mum's name. She said she goes by her nickname Peggy, which is a nickname for Margaret. Her mum went by Peggy, and when she was little, it was known as Big Peggy, and she was Little Peggy. Oh, bless. Love it. I'd say I do really like meanings, you know, for things that are unique to you and different. Mummy's Escape, she says, hi Rebecca. She says she is about halfway through her section when I finished. She said, but you got me through a colour block. She says the rest is confetti central, which she loves. She said, can't believe that when you read this, June Waffle will be over. She says, and a distant memory maybe. Not quite a distant memory. It is over. June Waffle is over as I read your comments, because of course I am on Heaven and Earth Design, not June Waffles. But no, it's in no way a distant memory. We have a montage to come, which will be fun. We have the de-kitting. So of course I do need to de-kit June Waffle. So I have that coming up as well. That was actually one of the monster de-kits I did the other day, ready. But I think it's next week that comes up. Is it next week or is it actually the week after? It's actually the week after next. So trying to fit de-kittings and kitting ups in, but keeping it varied. So like no more than one de-kit in a week and no more than one kitting up in a week and stuff. They've ended up getting a bit spread out. But no, it's great fun. And before we know it, if June is anything to go by and how quick it flew by, it will be time for December Advent before we know it. Okay, we do need to tip. I find I use my tray not as much on my Heaven and Earth Design as I might do on other paintings, because it can be very, very confetti. Tiffany, she says she's finished 2 paintings in June and 6 sections of a WIP, and she started her cross-stitch conversion. Another productive busy bee. She said she is currently 94.7% through the colour. She says this is excluding the white background, as the app she uses doesn't let her add a symbol for the white background, so it only calculates the colour and 310. So is it just counting what you're actually completing, or are you completing the background in white as well? I can imagine that might be an epic amount of whites. Plus, if you are doing the white background as well, at least you can always say you've completed more than what the app's telling you. Did I just... Oh, I just touched on something then and I thought I saw one of these light up, but no. It was my eyes going funny. Right, let me change to case number 3 of 4. Get in there. Get in there. Okay, 918. Irene, she says, hi Rebecca. She says her last block is only 310 and they are, of course, black. She says she will be able to have 6 canvases finished this June. She says 4 are 30 by 40, 2 half big and 1 half for July. She says she made her Mona Lisa finish in June. She says thanks for the June waffle. There's definitely been some great productivity going on in June. Maybe it's because it's been the longer waffles as well, because the waffles have been more an hour than half an hour to 45 minutes. So maybe that's made a little bit of a difference as well. If people end up sitting and diamond painting for just that little bit longer, it all adds up over time. Because of course I completed a 60 by 40 painting rather than just a 30 by 40. Jan, she says, hi Rebecca. She says she loves my channel and she always gets a good giggle. That's good to know. She says regarding summer heat, she says she lives on the Gold Coast in Queensland, Australia, which is the northeast of the country. She says, and their summers can be really tough. She says last summer temperatures were regularly reaching between 35 and 41 degrees Celsius with a humidity of up to 85%. She says this started in November and went through to about the end of March. She said it gets that way. You are always dripping wet, she says, when outside. It's a good idea to stay indoors between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. As the sun will burn you, she says, within 20 minutes. She says the more southern states, such as New South Wales, Victoria, South Australia and Tasmania have the dry heat, which is why I've said the heat's different, because I do go to Victoria rather than Queensland. I have been Queensland once for my brother's wedding, and the first day we got there it was so muggy. Luckily we had a storm that evening which made it nice for the wedding, but yeah, it definitely was different, that's for sure. So yeah, I don't envy you having to deal with that kind of heat, especially for what turned out to be a longer summer, that's for sure. The Reclining Diamond Painter, I do like that name. Hang on, sorry. I will read out your question. I just realised that this is sort of a bit of a all over the place part. She says, as to middle names, she says the reason a female may not be given a middle name was so that her birth surname could become her middle name when she marries and takes her husband's name. She says this was so the female can carry the name just like the male siblings. She says think of it like the old-timey way. Females hyphenate their name nowadays, so you can often have double-barreled surnames. She says, but with no hyphen back then, it would just move to be your middle name. She says if a female was given a middle name when she married, she would traditionally drop her middle name and replace it with her birth surname. See, things did work differently and in different ways, and it's very interesting to sort of hear how, you know, some things have come about and why they've come about. and where it all sort of originates from. It's fascinating. She says, by the time you see this, it will be past June the 30th. She said she just wanted to let me know how much she looked forward to watching my WIP and Waffle each day and hearing everybody's comments and stories. She said she looks forward to the Advent WIP and Waffle. Oh, thank you. Yes, the Advent one will be fun yet again. I love it. Right, sorry, I've got one of these. Part of me would just rather have 2 or 3 than have one. Right, here we go. We've got one with a little bit more colour. Janita says, oh, snake eyes, what she calls snake eyes, is the 2 dots that I call a button. She also says that they only have ceiling fans in their bedrooms where they are in Canada. See, you're in a country that's equipped better for the snow than we are, because you get snow a lot more often than we do. Whereas, you know, sometimes even if we do get snow each year, it's not a lot, you know. You walk outside and breathe warm air and it's gone. But sometimes when we get a really heavy snowfall, we can't cope. Just the same way we can't cope with with extreme heat. It's the same sort of thing. We're just not equipped for it. Just not a country that is used to the extremes of the seasons. We're just used to a lot of rain. That's what we're good at dealing with. Rain. Rain, rain, and lots more rain. Teresa says, when you read a comment, she said she could tell it was her comment and she had to go back and listen to her name. She says she's never heard it pronounced that way. She said it sounded kind of cool. If I remember right, yeah, I think it was Teresa or Teresa, whichever, I can't remember the right way now. She did send me a message letting me know how it's pronounced, but I've slept since then, so I forget. It's like to get all names right. Luckily, she did say it sounded exotic, so I know I'm not offending someone. But it's like, if I were to try and get everybody's name pronounced right, I would have to have like an audio thing of all the ones I get wrong, and I would have to listen to it. I've just put that in the wrong place, haven't I? Yes, I have. I would have to listen to it before doing a video every single time before doing a WIP and Waffle to have a hope of getting it right. Because even a little bit later from reading out a comment, I might, the same person might comment again a little bit later on another video, as I move from one to the next. And the amount of times I will pronounce it different both times is unreal. She also says she would never live in a house without air conditioning. She said, even living here in Washington State, she says we have the air conditioner in the window and fans down the hall, and she is in heaven. Awesome. Yeah, we do. It's something we need to look at, but it's just houses aren't built for it. They're not built for it the same way in the UK. So yeah, our portable little units will have to keep us going for now. Crystal, she says, speaking on the weather, she says here in central Ohio, she says we have been under advisories for bad air quality. Nearly dropped that. She said the wildfires in Canada are blowing over us in the US. She says, and just as that started, it started getting hotter. She said, so it's 85 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 29 Celsius. Thank you for the conversion. I still can't quite get Fahrenheit. She says it's been horrible for a few days. She says because they've got the heat plus the smoke. She said her hubby is fighting lung cancer and she has COPD. She said, so it's been rough. She says, thank goodness for central air conditioning. Yes, the pair of you keep yourselves inside. By the sounds of it, that is where you need to be. So sit and diamond paint and look after yourself until it all passes through. Ravy, just to clarify, they said how they ended up with one name. They said her mum had chosen two names, but the family rubbished the choice of first name. When the time came to register their birth, she dropped the first name and just kept what was supposed to be the middle name. They've never had a problem having just one name, apart from filling out forms and telling people, no, I don't have a middle name. It is something, I think, because so many forms and so many things you fill in now only need your first name, surname, and like your middle name is if you want to, you can stick it there, but it's not used for quite a lot of things. When it comes to official documents, I'm sure that the people that take your official documents off you, are just checking and going, you do need your middle name on this one. Like, you don't fill it out on everything else, but we need it. Official needs it. And it's like, yeah, but I don't have one. My dad doesn't have one either. So he'll have experienced that anytime he's had to fill in a form. Colleen says, hi Rebecca, good evening. What size is the one that I'm doing now? So if that's the June waffle painting that I was doing, that was 40 by 60. So double the size I would normally do for June waffle. I'd normally do a 30 by 40. But I seem to have pushed the size up. It was a splatter work, so there was a lot of white, which meant it did end up being around an hour, a bit over sometimes. I think there was about 2 days I was slightly under, which made it a little bit more bearable. But yeah, it was a big one. It was a big one for a June waffle, that's for sure. Right, where's these last ones? They all look to be in the last case. So let me grab my last one, which is my blue one. Blue case, blue diamonds. Anita says, thank you for a great waffle. Oh, thank you. We have a mixture of, we're getting on to the 30th now, so we are going to have a mixture of thank yous and responses. But Joe said, hi Rebecca, only one more June waffle video left. So this is a sneaked in one on the 29th. She said, what happened to June? Yeah, I'd like to know. I have no idea what happened to June. It felt long and short all at the same time. It felt both. She said, on the topic of middle names, she said the custom in her country is that children will have the mother's maiden name as the middle name. And when the ladies get married and take their husband's surname, their new middle name will be their maiden name. So sort of like move up. So that's like what was mentioned earlier about the girls having no middle name, and then, their maiden name would become their middle name. It's a bit like that, but with mum's middle name staying in there for a little bit longer. She said, on the topic of air conditioning, she said, when you mentioned how you were looking into ceiling fans, which I did for a bit and then it's got cool, so I'm not. She said it reminded her on how they got their air conditioning unit. She says the process took years. She said, if you can believe it. Every year during the hot and humid months, her siblings would bring up getting one due to the heat. They discuss what type or brand to get and the pros and cons of each. The discussions would take a long time, and by the time they were all in agreement, the cooler weather had already started. Yep, I get that feeling. Yeah, it started, and we push it off till the next year, seeing as it's no longer necessary. So this repeated for 3 or 4 years until one summer, my sister just turned around and said, "I'm not waiting for you all anymore. I'm just buying one." The next day, she went to the mall and bought one. That's how. She said that's how we got ours, since they don't come automatically with the homes where she is. She says, as always, thank you for the great waffle. She said it's been an amazing month and she has enjoyed seeing all the WIPs. That sounds like what ours would be. Just keep wondering, like the ceiling fans, that's probably what it'll be with the ceiling fans, because aircon, the portable units we have are great. The only room that would be very beneficial to have a full-on air conditioning unit in, like attached to the wall and all the rest, would be the conservatory. But there's not the wall and the space to put it, because while we do have one solid brick wall, it's adjoining to our neighbours, and the other one, of course, is part of the house. And it's where and how the unit would fit. It's not like the easiest, but I can imagine ceiling fans will be the same sort of thing. And whether we end up deciding to get them and get them fitted so that we have that option, we'll see. I think we're due another heat wave at some point, so we'll see if it comes up in conversation then instead. Right. Oh, got another one. Get some of these gaps filled in now. Some of these gorgeous blues. Liz says, thank you for a fantastic June waffle. She said, the picture is stunning. She spent today's waffle sorting out her round drill storage boxes. She finally had to go into 2 boxes, and she started dekitting her last finished painting. See, my round boxes cope with 2 absolutely great. My square with 3 boxes, not so much. Partly because of the way I've got it sectioned. If I didn't have it sectioned so strictly according to the numbers, then I might be all right getting away with 3 quite easily. But it's because I've got them in groups, like 100s to 600s. That box is fine, but then 700s to 900s is just full to bursting. So I am really looking forward to my sort out, which is another reason. As I've been dekitting kits this weekend, I'm like, I need to get my heaven and earth design done so that I can get my spare storage sorted, so that dekitting is a lot easier to do, because it's hard work. Right, how have I managed to put one in there that I don't actually need? That should be empty. It's because I'm chatting. There we go. quick check that I hadn't put it in the wrong place, but no, I think I just decided to add one extra. Why? I don't know. Anika says, thank you for this month of waffles. She said, as always, a joy to listen to. Hugs to you and yours. Oh, thank you, Anika. I'm so glad that you have enjoyed it and had fun and hopefully been productive. And if not, just found those little pockets of me time and squoze them in, whichever one it may be. Colette, she says, thank you for a month of waffles. She has enjoyed every one of them. She completed 2 diamond paintings and she has 4 sections left on her Star Wars R2-D2 and BB-8 painting. She also built a Lego Star Wars replica fighter tank. And the Lego Disney Up horse. She says, thank you for everything that you do. Now that's a different bit of me time. I've seen, there's quite a few different projects that people have been doing, either paintings, cross stitch, cards, sorting out things like spare storage and all that sort of stuff, doing different bits for me time. Hadn't heard of Lego being done yet, but Lego is always a fun thing to do. Yeah, I just wish I had a house big enough for all the Lego I'd love to do. Nancy, she said, it's over, with lots of R's at the end. She said, where did the month go? I don't know. Don't think any of us do. She said she got 8 canvases done in the month of June. She says, and she has no idea how she got that much done. She said, except for my waffle. She says she thanks me, Rebecca, and she said you reminded me to take that time out for herself. She says, hope you're well and have an awesome summer, and she will look forward to future videos. That is an amazing amount. See, it's things like the amount that people have managed to get done that makes me realise that June can't have been that quick. But it sure did feel quick. Maybe it's because we had just that nice bit of balance in our lives that it disappeared dead quick. Maybe. Didn't feel quite as tedious as maybe it would have done if, we didn't take time for ourselves. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe actually taking your me time, makes your life feel a little bit more rounded, and therefore doesn't drag as much like it does if it's just, oh, I'm working again. That sort of dragging instead. Right, let me find, here we go, 3852, nearly there. Mary Begran, sorry, says thank you for a fantastic June waffle. Thank you. Bernadette, she says thank you for a great June waffle. She says she can't believe it's all over. She says she'll now have to go back to talking to herself. I'll still be here. You can talk to me twice a week. We'll be reading out waffle comments. She says she finished her last section early this morning, so she was working on a 192 colour Walking in the Rain from Diamond Art Studio, which I'm really looking forward to doing those two. She says she was so happy to hear that I have it in my stash. I do. She says she loves Outside the Sweet Shop too. She said, but when it came to choosing, she said this one edged it just that little bit for her. She's working on it from side to side, as it is too large for the table to work on it from bottom to top. She says she started on the dark side where the flowers are, so that she can end up on the rainbow coloured side. My cat think just like me. That's my kind of thinking. Start on the darker side, finish on the exciting side. She says the flower side is more confetti heavy and does take longer. She said as much as she loves confetti, she does want to end on a quicker and easier part, which I also get, because you do get that spurt when you finish, and you want sort of the excitement for the reveal side of things, but you do also want to be able to finish it as quick as you want to be able to finish it. So that would probably be the same way I would do it, and for the same reasons. She says she's really loving the painting. She says thank you again for the past month. She said it's been great, and she is really going to miss hearing my voice every day. She says roll on Christmas Advent. She said PS, she kitted up a lovely painting from Diamond Art Club called Wildflower Butterflies. She says in the gorgeous case that she won, of which she says of course has flowers and butterflies on it. Oh, perfect. I'm so glad you enjoy it. Bernadette won the first prize of June Waffle, which was a 60 bottle case in a heart shape with a gorgeous design on it, which was from Fan Cells. And yeah, I think she was so excited. So I think probably one of the, I think it was the first giveaway. I'm pretty sure that Bernadette was the first person to comment about how much she'd loved one of the prizes, or at least it was definitely one of the first comments, of course, that I got to. And yeah, it was just so nice to sort of read that comment a few days later and realise that they just paired up so well. So I'm so glad that you've had a good month, and I'll still be about for a bit, just not 7 days a week of waffles. But I am back on doing my Heaven and Earth design. We shall see how much I've moved more by next week. So I need to be more than this row below. We'll see how far I get. But thank you all so much for joining me, and I'll speak to you all again soon.